Hello, I'm Piers from Popcorn Dreams. Knives Out is out in the cinema, but is it any good? Let's find out. Knives Out is a modern version of a classic whodunit murder mystery. It's directed by Rian Johnson and it stars Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, and Ana de Armas. When I was younger, I really loved monster movies. I loved horror movies and specifically monster movies. But when it came to TV, there were two shows that I particularly liked. And they were Miss Marple, which was a detective series, but Miss Marple wasn't actually a detective. She was like a special consultant. And that was based on stories by Agatha Christie. The other one was Columbo, which was an American detective show. And both of them were amazing. What I liked about both of them was that the characters presented themselves as being not a threat to anyone they were investigating. Columbo particularly tried to pass himself off as this kind of bumbling idiot, whilst actually both characters were the smartest people in the room. This movie perfectly homages both of those shows, and actually just Agatha Christie murder mysteries in general. The cast are excellent, especially Daniel Craig, who is really having a lot of fun with his part. He puts on an accent, but it's not distracting at all. And he nails the whole sort of Columbo style of seeming like he doesn't really understand what's going on, doesn't really know. But then towards the end, we find out just how smart he actually is. And it's a good thing that the cast is as amazing as it is, because characters in this kind of story traditionally are more like caricatures, but you have to draw the fine line of being a caricature but not being sort of cartoony. And also they have to try and avoid being descending into farce. If you've ever seen the film Clue, then that's farce, where it's just deliberately very silly and over the top, and murder mysteries can devolve into that very easily. This one doesn't. It's absolutely on the money. Every single cast member really understands their role, their part in building the whole narrative, and they just play it perfectly. And that's thanks to a fantastic script. The script is really, really well written. It's very tightly plotted. There's no excess baggage. There's no fat on there at all. There's nowhere really where they could have trimmed a scene to cut down the time, and they didn't need to, because actually the story moves along at a good pace and you don't ever sit there looking at your watch or wondering why this film is so long. The story hits all of the points that you would expect a murder mystery of this style to hit, including it being very dryly comic. There is quite a lot of humour throughout it, but it also hits the dramatic points where you'd expect them, complete with the classic late story twists and the final reveal and unmasking of the killer in a study, which was particularly fun. In short, in many ways, this film was perfect for me, and I really came out of the cinema buzzing. I was really happy. I had a really huge smile on my face, and I haven't actually felt like that coming out of a cinema for quite a long time. And so, here's 3 things that I really liked about the movie. Number 1, the whole concept. I like that it's a throwback to older style of storytelling, but that they've actually played it with characters and with some politics and the dynamics that would be going on today. Number 2, I really like the script. It was really well written, really thoughtful. The characters were always exactly as they should be and as you would expect them to be. Number 3, the performances, the cast. It's a stellar cast. IMDb it. It's absolutely fantastic. They are brilliant. And now here's 2 areas that we could, well, not improve it, but that we need to think about. Number 1, some elements of this story style and this film, I'm not sure that modern audiences will necessarily connect with it. The most popular time for this kind of story was sort of the 80s. And I'm not really sure how people will react to it, because it's been a long time since I remember there being a murder mystery in the cinema. Some parts of it, some audiences might find slightly absurd, particularly, say, the nurse's reaction to lying, or some of the more caricature-y parts, some of the dialogue that results with that. It's brilliantly done, but some audiences might find it difficult. Number 2. I guess if we were being really pedantic, you could describe this movie as people talking in rooms, in the same way that you could describe Lord of the Rings as a hiking movie. So, did it achieve what it set out to do? For me, yes. I think it's an absolutely wonderful homage to those old Agatha Christie murder mystery whodunits. And would I recommend it? Yeah, absolutely. This is a fantastic film. Oh, you're still there. You made it to the end of the video. Well done, you. You just caught me writing our next review. Whilst you're waiting for that, why don't you click on one of the videos here? And don't forget to like, share and subscribe.